Hello YouTube, what is up? This is ACNL Insight, and today I want to cover how to pick the right town map for you. When you start a game, the town map is basically something that will stick with you for the rest of the game unless you restart. So, this is pretty important. In this video I'm going to discuss or cover 3 types of players for this, and these are just general overviews. Obviously everyone's a little bit different, but I'm just going to give a general guideline of, hey, if you play like this, then you should pick this type of map, just so that I can help you guys out a little bit with this. So a few things I'm going to cover is the position of the building retail, and then the town hall and the event plaza, as well as the shape of the river, and then also there's 3 add-ons right now. The campsite, that's a public works project, the coffee shop, which is a public works project, and then the police station, which is also a public works project. Those come in later, but I just want to go over all of this with you just so that you can think about, okay, if I have this town map, where would these types of things go? So I wanted to go over some of the basic functions of the items that I'll be discussing in what to consider when you're choosing the right town map for you. So right now I'm at retail. This is going to appear on the bottom screen as basically a pink recycle sign. It is going to basically be where you sell all your goods, especially towards the beginning of the game when you're paying off the loans to Tom Nook, and you will be able to sell basically anything in the game here. There are some things in the game that you will actually have to pay for to get rid of this way if you don't have a garbage can, but basically talk to Reese. She can buy whatever or get rid of whatever for you if it's trash. And then also there is the flea market spaces. So there's going to be 8 spaces in the store where you can put up whatever you want. I have music boxes here for the most part. Basically, I just keep them at the highest price just so that villagers won't buy ugly things and put them in their houses, because if you basically push them around in this building, they will eventually do that, and paying that they like an item. If it's not, a super high price like I put, then they will basically ask if they should buy the item, and then they'll put it in their house or maybe wear it. And I don't really like my villagers to do that, just because if you're not controlling what's in these spaces, then you could end up with some really ugly things in their house. And basically that's another function. So sell things, puts things up for sale. And then also, if you talk to Reese, you can ask about turnip prices, is the 3rd option. And basically, she will buy turnips from you. On Sundays, you can buy turnips from Joan. I believe the cutoff is 12 p.m. But before that, you can buy turnips from her and then sell them back to Reese. It's kind of like New Leaf's kind of stock trade. However, don't time travel with turnips because you will ruin them. Cyrus is another function of something you can do here. If you bring him things, he'll say, do you have items for a project for me? And then if you do, for example, these music boxes, if you get a music CD or disc from, KK Slider, those little vinyls, and you give him that plus a giant clamshell, he will make one of these music boxes for you. They're pretty cool. I only did this basically to get the badge for it, but for the most part, retail is a fairly well-used shop. Also, if you are going to be using websites like AC Trade or the Animal Crossing Premium website, you may want to put your retail in a position that is easy to reach by people visiting. Okay, so here's the town hall. The few things you do here, you could change your town tune, you could change your ordinance. I'll cover that all in the future. And you can also create PWPs. So any development projects you have for your town, like this bench or this fire hydrant, these sorts of things that aren't, you know, something like you'd plant a tree or something, you don't have to ask permission to do that. But basically, you're not asking permission, but you're saying, I'm going to build this here, and you have to pay it off. So, you would have to start those here. Today, in my game, it is winter solstice, so Isabel's not currently in. And then you would also come here for your cat machines to collect your coupons. So I'll just collect mine that I have here so it stops beeping. And basically, that's all that you would be doing here. Okay, so here is the town plaza. So this is the event plaza, and today is the winter solstice. So if you talk to her, she says, I think I'll take a hot bath today. It's been so cold all day that I'd better do something to warm up. She already gave me a little glow wand for today. I've already talked to her. But basically, this is the type of thing you'll see in the event plaza. Like, there'll be, you know, maybe some standees. Isabel might come out, or, you know, if there's like a fishing tournament or anything like that, you would be seeing, you know, whoever's running the tournament. So the event plaza is for events, or Red, Katrina, will set up tents here, and also Gracie might also show up if you do not have the, the most expanded shop set up. Here is the campsite. Unfortunately, I can't show you. Nobody's visiting today, but basically it's an orange tent that if someone decides to visit, you can sometimes, if you have 9 or less villagers, ask that villager to move in. Now with the amiibo cards, this might not be super useful, but you know, it's cool nonetheless. This is the coffee shop, and this is an add-on. Basically, you don't have to have this, but basically, eventually someone will say, you know, why don't you add a coffee shop or a cafe to the town? And so it becomes a public works project. And it's pretty cool. Like, you can get some cool items from this from working. I had to look it all up online. Maybe I'll do this for you guys in a different episode or something like that if you guys care enough to show you how to, you know, work here. And then after, he does give you like superb coffee beans, which you can sell, like basically sell it in retail in the flea market that I showed you. Here is the police station. Drink my coffee in front of it. At first, I didn't really think the police station was super useful, but it actually is. I mean, when you talk to Booker, you can ask him if there's anyone special in town. So, of course, well, I haven't noticed anything. I'm so terribly sorry. I'll pay more attention in the future. So, Phineas must have gone, or if I, you know, since I talked to him, it must have, you know, taken him off the list. But if I hadn't talked to Phineas, who gives out the badges, then he would have said, oh, I believe Phineas was walking around or something like that. So, you know, if you don't check your beach to see if he's, oh my gosh, I forgot his name, but the pelican who is stranded on the beach, or Katie, if the cat who wants to travel is walking around your town, he'll tell you. And also these spaces for lost and found, you can take any of these items. It's not like your villagers are going to hate you, they just appear. But also, if you put items in your event plaza and something covers up where the items were, for example, right now, this standee that is in my event plaza, if I had items sitting here from the day before and they were just under this, you know, standee or under Isabel, instead of those items getting deleted, they would actually go into the lost and found. So that's kind of neat. I found that out in one of my other games that I had. Oh yes, the river. So I will show you the shape of my river. I mean, it's not the best in my opinion. Let me show you guys what I mean. So when I'm talking about the separation in the river, this is what I am talking about. So this river is separated by this waterfall over here. This is my waterfall. And instead of having a beach that is separated by this in the middle, when you're fishing, it is so much nicer to just have, you know, one large piece of land instead of one, you know, decently sized piece of land and then another large slice of land divided by a river in the middle. Just because when you're fishing and you're trying to get all the badges like I am, it's super annoying to, like, you know, have to wear a wetsuit and then go back and forth like that. So I believe that's all of the buildings for now. And obviously there's the Rossetti's, like, reset station or reset center. That's not a super big deal. It takes up one spot and it's not particularly, you know, useful in one area or another. I just put one here. Your drive-in camp is just going to hang out of the wall kind of like this. So not super, you know, if you want to have it near your train station, if people are going to be visiting a lot, I mean, that's something to consider, but in my opinion, it's not that big of a deal. And just to show you, if your beach is on the right side, your museum is going to be on the left side. I don't like my museum on the left side, personal preference, just because all of these buildings here I don't use a lot, whereas I might go more often to, like, Able Sisters or Kicks, and if my museum was here, then it would not be so out of the way for me to go to. But it's just a little thing to consider. It's not like you have to have all of these things hitting the mark, but basically those are the things that I wanted to show you ahead of time, and then I'll get into actually going through, you know, the map placements and showing you the actual maps on the second screen when I create my new town with you guys. So I am starting a new town, so I would like to do this with you guys and show you what I believe is good advice as far as how to choose the right town map. So something that I like to do is use the Animal Crossing subreddit a lot. I'm not sure if I would like to do that for this game in particular, just because honestly I have a Reddit account already all set up for my other game, and I just don't know how much I'm going to need to do that, but I believe I'll just have it set up as if I'm going to be using the subreddit a lot, because I'm not really the other type of gamer who would kind of be playing this game by themselves or trying to at least pay off all of their loans and everything by themselves. So, having said that, I guess I kind of briefly covered it. The three different types of players, in my opinion, when it comes to choosing a town map is A, someone who's going to be having a lot of visitors and wants all of their buildings to be reached by some people who are visiting pretty easily, so those should be accessible. And then also B, a player who pretty much is going to be playing by themselves for the most part and want their buildings to be accessible to them, and especially accessible if you are going to be paying off your loans, using the island to sell bugs and having retail pretty close to the bottom of the map. I think that's pretty important if you were playing alone for most of it. And then see, you're a casual gamer and you're not super concerned, so whatever you think is the most aesthetically pleasing, honestly, just go with that. I'm gonna go over different tips on what's convenient and what's not in different circumstances, but if you're a casual gamer, this is all I'm gonna say for you. Just go what feels right, go what you like, and that'll be fine enough. And then later, if you decide to change it, you'll have my advice for the other types. So right now, I'm going to show you my map that I have here that he's offering. So if you look at this map, you can see that the retail is kind of cut off by the river. The event plaza is also cut off by the river. The town hall is above the river by the train station, and then the campsite that comes in, the drive-in camp, is also cut off by the river. I'm not a big fan of this, just because everything's kind of cut off. This might be good for someone who is going to be using the island a lot, because retail is closer to the bottom and not that far away from the entrance to the island, that little deck down there. So this would be an okay map for someone who would be playing on their own. If you look at the river I actually like, because there is a lot of it going straight up and down, and that just means it's easier, in my opinion, to fish on the river, because when you have a lot of pieces that are going horizontally or left to right, you may have some trouble getting the fish. I've noticed that the fish, if you fish that way, it's harder to get across the river, and like you might have to just run over to the other side often to get the fish to bite. I don't know if that's just me or if that's a thing of the game, but in my opinion, just having a large piece going straight up and down would be good, like it has here. And I don't really like the beach separation though, just because if you have one little piece of island that's inaccessible and then one long beach, then you're able to fish across it more efficiently, rather than either having to run around, especially on this map where the entrances to the beach are so far away, or you'd have to swim across, which is slightly inconvenient. It's not the end of the world, but in my opinion, I prefer a map that has the beach that is a little island piece and then one long beach. So we'll move on to the next. Retail is right next to Main Street and the train station. I like that. Town Hall is in an okay position, in my opinion. And then the drive-in campground is fine. I would say I could choose this map, but I'm going to show you guys more maps just so you guys can see the variety. Honestly, these things are randomly number generated, so you could literally keep doing this until you found your perfect map. I would consider taking this map for myself, but I want to show you guys even more maps just because I'm making a video about it and I think that would be helpful. So mark this down as I would have picked it if I was not sifting through a bunch of maps for you guys. I would say no in any condition, because retail is pretty much out of the way of everything. So in my opinion, this map is not one that you should take unless you just aesthetically like it and you're a casual gamer. You always want retail to be near something because it's so much more efficient that way. So, let's see. Also no to this map, because again, it's kind of cut off. Obviously, you can add up to 2 more bridges, so you can always have 3 bridges on your map, but it's just not efficient. It's not close to anything, so just not a good deal for you. I do like the beach on this one. If you look, the beach island is not super big, and the beach is a long strip, how the way I was talking about. So in my opinion, the beach is fine, but everything else, I mean, it's not in a great position. So I always look at retail first, because that's the most important in my opinion. This one I wouldn't choose because the beach island is so big, and also I guess what I'm looking for in my town, and none of these were good for the other town as well, if having retail on the bottom side. I would say that in my town I would want retail to be close to the top, where the opening is for Main Street or the train station. And then I'd like the town hall to be next to the camp-in entrance, the drive-in campground entrance. And then, if at all possible, my last request would be to have the beach in an island. And then, impossible of all impossible requests, to have the event plaza kind of towards where other people would be visiting as well. That one, in my opinion, is the least important. That would be more important to me if I was using this as a main town and I needed it to be accessible for like giveaways and things like that on the Animal Crossing subreddits, but I think I'm just going to be using my main town for those types of things. This is just going to be purely educational. So maybe if I find whatever comes up next, whether it is a good insect farming town or a good town for having people over. It's not only a good thing for having people over though, it's also good to, when you're first starting and progressing your game, it's really good to have a retail right next to the town's main street, just because if you want to progress quickly, basically you're gonna have to buy everything that's available on Main Street, and after you do that, you're gonna want to sell it, because I mean I can hoard stuff, but some of the stuff I just didn't want, so I just immediately buy it and then sell it. And it's just better to sell it to retail than to sell it to either of the brothers, because you get such a markdown on the prices. Okay, let's see. So this map looks decent. We have the island we requested. Retail's pretty close to the train station / Main Street. Town hall's in the middle. Event plaza's on the side, which I said that one I'm not super worried about. And then also the drive-in campground. I mean, preferably that would be on the top side too, if I'm being super picky, just because you would want to have, like, if people are coming over, they might want to check out what's for sale there. Wow, this one has all of the things except the beach. So everything's towards the top except for the beach. That one, both of the ones we saw were ones to consider. Let's see. Not really a big fan of this one. I don't really like the river cutting off that much of the town. There's like the town hall and then the event plaza and the drive-in. And then this one, I think this one might be good for like a casual gamer, just because I do like the aesthetic of the event plaza kind of being in the middle of your town, because then it's kind of, you know, it just looks nice because it's in the middle of your town and that's where events happen, and so you want people to congregate around that. So I think for a casual gamer, this would definitely be a town that you could consider picking, and the setup's not too horrible for other things as well. One thing I haven't mentioned is if you have your beach, for example, on this map, it's on the right side. So it starts on the right side and goes down. The museum in your main street will be on the opposite side of the beach. So your museum will be on the left side of Main Street, which is, in my opinion, farther away from the buildings that you would use more frequently. And then if your beach, for example, on, let's see if we had a map with the beach, yep. If the beach is on the left side, starting from the left and going down like this, then your museum will be on the right side when you go to your main street. And that, in my opinion, is just closer to everything. So when you go to Main Street, and I think I show you when I walk through my other town, the museum will be closer to the buildings that you are more likely to use. Not a big fan of the river because it takes up so much of the map, and it cuts off and secludes such a large area. So I'm just gonna go on to the next one. I might do this one for making a town that you go to the island a lot. I actually like this one a lot. Honestly, I would maybe continue searching because, again, the little river beach thing. But honestly, it's got a lot of the things that I wanted. So retail is up top near the main street. I could put my house in between there. So it's pretty close if I need to, like, you know, immediately when I start the game, empty out some space by selling stuff. That's nice. Also, the town hall is close to the drive-in campground, which is super nice because, again, it's convenient if you get your coupons and then you can check to see what you can purchase. And I do like having the event plaza in the middle, even though I say it's not a super big deal. It's just nice. In my opinion, it looks nice, and if you have people coming over to do things at it, you know, it's easy to, like, go towards the middle of town. So I'm going to choose this town for my game. I actually named the town Insight, and I named my character Bookworm. So I did look, or just make the face video for choosing your face as well at the beginning of the game. So I'm actually going to pick the one that I want. I said I don't know, or I don't remember, then I don't know, and then I'll let fate decide. So, in a moment, my game will let me know who's in my town and what my setup will actually look like when I walk around. And if you guys haven't played before, I just skipped through all of that. If you guys want to watch a playthrough, to see, you know, all of the stuff he says, or if you want to, you know, load up your own game, that's fine. I'm just not rating it because it's not super informational, not the stuff I want to go over with you guys. Alright, so and I guess with choosing the map, I'm going to be going through how you start the game. In the next few videos, I'm going to go through kind of Isabel's tips and the mayor approval ratings that you have to go through. It can be kind of a pain, but we will get you through that. So everyone's saying welcome. They said we couldn't be happier to see you arrive safe and sound. Now, whatever you say, it doesn't really matter. So I'll just say, am I in the right town? I'm not the mayor. So basically, when you get off, they think you're the mayor. They give you a map of the town. And I will show you guys around. So here's the villagers it presets you with. If you noticed in the video of the faces, they're basically random. So even if you see it, you know, on the start screen, when you start it up, you'll see a random villager. They're not going to be in your town unless your town has been created. And right now, since it's fall, the trees have orange on the leaves. Here is the plaza, which is, again, in the middle. And then it looks like my native fruit's going to be pear for this town. And here's retail, and it's closed right now. When you start the game, everything's closed. She wants us to go to the town hall. I'll probably put my house here somewhere, so that when I start my game, I can kind of like go wherever I want from that area. And then actually maybe what I'll do is I'll set up a town that is based off of if you want to do like bug farming as well, since I am going over this. So town hall is ready to do any operations. She's your assistant. Alright, and she's telling us that we have to live here before we can become the mayor. So, you go to Main Street, and I'll show you here what I explained before. When you go to Main Street, the museum will be on the right side for me because my beach is on the left side. So if I go over to the right, there's my museum. And what I was saying is, so there's actually another store that's going to be here, and then these stores are ones that I would frequent when I'm playing this game. And then there's kind of like these other shops. Right now it's all closed and abandoned, but these actually will be turned into other shops, but they're not something that you would normally like look at every day or go to unless you were, you know, doing something specifically, whereas you might go to like an accessory store or to a, you know, clothing store just to check out what's new. So here's Tom Nook. You'll be seeing a lot of him in the game. You will have a lot of loans to pay him, and basically after you pay off your loans to him, you can do like a little party for yourself because there's a lot of loans in this game. Let me see. So the way he like tracks where you want to build your house, it's actually where you're standing, not where he's standing, because I used to try to push him around. Let's see, can you build it here? But it's actually where you stand. So then he will show you a example. So here's the example of what it will look like. I actually like this location. I just like being right next to Main Street. That's my thing, I guess. Just because when you first start the game, and I'll show you guys this in a future video, you will probably be running to the Main Street a lot just to do daily things. And if you're already there, and if you're close to retail where you might sell all of these things, then it might be easier just to be next to it already. So that's how I have it set up. I go to the Main Street, buy stuff, I either put it in my house or I'll run over to retail to sell it. This is pretty much how my other town looks like, my main town that I made. But I think I will actually maybe make 2 towns, or like just restart this town, depending on if I'm able to actually have time to do that. I guess something else I'll be teaching you is how to demo your town. Basically, if you want to get rid of all of your town and start over, there's a couple of options. If you click continue from your save file, select your mayor. You can either, if you have like alternate accounts or characters, you can either delete them, you know, individually if you happen to have multiple people playing on the same account, or if you go to mayor and ask Isabel for help first, you can click recreate the town. There's another option for demolish my home, and it's only for if you want to just get rid of an alternate character's house. And I do want to start this over and delete it. And then hopefully we can just start up our new save file. Yep, new save file. There's a move in option. That would be if you have an alternate character and you want to move that character in as the mayor instead of having them as a secondary character. I am speaking a little quietly right now because it is a little bit late and there are people trying to sleep, so apologize for that as well. My name will be I'm going to be farmer just because I'll be farming character or farming bugs and fish on this account for videos in the future, just to show, you know, the better layout. But I'm still going to name the town Insight. I hate thinking of names for towns and stuff like that. Okay. Retail's all the way over in the corner over there, and it's not really good for farming. Nope. Also not good. What we're looking for a farming town is to have the retail towards the bottom, and then pretty much anything else can go wherever, because this is assuming that you want to spend most of your time or a lot of your time going back and forth from retail and the island, just for getting money from the island. So it looks like there's not really any of these here that were really good for farming. Okay, I think this is pretty much as far as I want to go as continuing to cycle through all of the towns. Ideally, the retail would be like right at the entrance. I thought we saw one where basically where the town hall was. This was where the retail was and the entrance was right there. So I'm just going to select this one for the farming town just because it's a little boring. So I'll do that, and then this video should be over. If you guys have any questions, let me know and I will figure something out. Ooh, I don't know which face I'm gonna get because I just clicked some random ones, so hopefully it's not too ugly because I'm not restarting the game. Watch it be one of those only ones that have like scary eyes. Would be so upsetting, but I'll live with it. Okay, it could be a lot worse. Oops. Okay, so as far as placing the house on this map, I would say you have one of two choices for efficiency. You would either want to place your house next to the beach entrance towards the bottom, so that if you ever caught anything, usually what people will do is they will catch things that are new. The game will tell you it has been added to your encyclopedia, and they will just put that in the museum. So instead of having to run all the way to your museum to do that, you could just run into your house, store whatever bugs and fish you catch, and then send it over to the museum, you know, all at one time, and not have to waste the effort. So I would say either right by the beach entrance, or if you are going to be kind of using the main street a lot, I would still put my house up here, just because from using Main Street, it'll just be a lot easier. Either, you know, when you start your game up, you know what you're going to be doing. You might have daily things to do, but you're either going to, you basically, like, would set this as a focal point and then go out from there. And, in my opinion, that's not bad. So, but in this game, I'm just going to act as if I'm going full on bug catching mode, and I will put my house, like, kind of towards this cliff where the entrance of the beach is. It's kind of weird, but I'll keep it for now. This is just basically farming town for efficiency's sake. I probably wouldn't have placed my house here if I cared about aesthetics. I probably would have moved it a little to the left or a little back or something like that. But this will be the most efficient in my opinion. So now if you look, when you know, come from the island, you can go from the basket straight to your house to input something, to store something, or run over here to retail to sell stuff. So, not too shabby. And then go over to the town hall. I know I'm running and crushing flowers and things like that. You actually should not be running in this game if you care at all about your grass, because the grass will actually deteriorate. Not just flowers being crushed, but the grass, like, you will create dirt paths and stuff like that. Okay, so that is it for today, guys. Next time I'm going to be going through the tutorials or the advice from Isabel, and also some of just like basic gameplay tips. So I think that's it. Thank you for watching, and see you guys in my next video.